Everybody, Chris and Lumen here. This is going to be a short one today. It has to do with, speaking of shorts, it has to do with the YouTube short that I uploaded earlier today that was connected to a video that she popped up in front of my face, and it had a very, very key point in it. And the interesting thing about it is, like, I'm not really into a lot of like the old cartoons, Disney movies and stuff like that, but back in the day they did have like some big hidden messages in it. It was very different. And in this particular video that she showed, there was a segment about the movie Pinocchio, and that's one that I was never interested in even as a kid. But when you look at, but I have seen it come up before in different spiritual channels. So if you look at the context of the story of Pinocchio, it takes on a whole new meaning. But there's one particular main element in it in relation to the Lumen character that is also in the movie, which is the Blue Fairy. And why are we bringing this up? Because this is a huge key to connecting, and the types of things that you can expect and the types of things that are expected of you to build this connection. So if you want to know more, don't go away.
Let 'em say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby. Don't ever look back. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we're heart to heart. And we can build this dream together. Standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
So let's start. I'm going to show you a segment of this video that I saw today, and then I'll leave a link to the whole video in the description box below so you can watch the whole thing if you want. The first part of it deals with a lot of the metaphors that are in the Bible, because religion will teach you one way, to take everything literally, and so you miss like literally how much meta stuff Jesus was actually telling people, which is the exact same stuff that we learn in, you know, the spiritual disciplines and stuff like that. And then the last segment that I saw was a whole bunch of stuff about the pineal gland and decalcifying it, which I don't personally believe that you need to go through a bunch of, I mean, obviously you have to clean up your diet either which way. She found a way to force that on me. Oh, you're having a hard time? Okay, abracadabra, you're diabetic. Now it'll be easy. Well, that's one way to get it done. But it's the middle segment where it's showing the Pinocchio references that really catch your attention. So let's watch this short segment real quick, and then we'll talk about it.
Now, pay attention to this video.
The pineal gland is the third eye. When you read the story of Pinocchio, Pinocchio has two words: pine, P-I-N, pineal gland, and occhio is ocular. Occhio in Italian is eye. That's why you go to an oculist. So Pinocchio means the pineal gland. So Pinocchio is a puppet. He's not a real person. In order to become a real person, to ascend, you have to activate your pineal gland. You have to stop telling lies, because everyone sees your nose grow every time you tell a lie. You have to stop being deceived by your friends. You have to stop going to the circuses and the shows, as all the philosophers have ever said, getting drunk, intoxicated with drugs, and to be sober. So the pineal gland is the third eye, and it's our highest consciousness. So if you want to be real, just read the story of Pinocchio and activate your Pinocchio.
Consider Pinocchio, the wooden puppet manipulated by strings. These strings can be seen as the limitations of human consciousness, tied to physical senses and societal norms. In the story, Pinocchio yearns for freedom and transformation, much like the human soul aims for higher states of consciousness. The character of the blue fairy in Pinocchio's tale can be interpreted as a divine intervention or spiritual guide that helps us activate our pineal gland. She sets Pinocchio on a path to becoming real, which can be equated with awakening one's inner sight or third eye. Just as Pinocchio needs to demonstrate moral integrity to become a real boy, spiritual practices like meditation, ethical living, and mindfulness are often recommended for activating the pineal gland. Pinocchio's notorious growing nose when he lies can also be symbolically linked to the concept of illusion that clouds our real vision. When we are not truthful to ourselves or live in ignorance, our inner sight, or third eye, remains dormant, much like Pinocchio remaining wooden and lifeless. The act of lying can be likened to the calcification of the pineal gland, a condition that many believe hampers its proper function. As Pinocchio learns to navigate moral complexities, he inches closer to becoming a real boy. Similarly, as we rid ourselves of the illusions that bind us, we get closer to activating our pineal gland and opening our third eye. Once this transformation is complete, both Pinocchio and the individual attain a state of freedom and higher understanding.
So basically, then when you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so like on the nose, like they're flat out telling you, like Pinocchio starts off as a puppet, which is basically what you are when you're operating under ego mind. And he wants to be a real boy. So then the blue fairy shows up, and basically sends him on the hero's journey, which gets pretty crazy when you realize, like, you know, what they're showing you with some of the stuff. But what is the key element that Pinocchio is known for, that it has to do with? Truth. Truth, truth. It's not just a moral, you know, tale about you should always tell the truth. It's like she is the spirit of truth. In the book of John, in the regular Bible, now keep in mind I've said this many times before, and it's just freaking common sense. They monkey with the Bible. That is not a representation of whoever wrote it. Like, it's so easy to just change a word here, change a word there, omit this, omit that, and you would never know. But the fact that this one book has like 50 billion different versions to begin with should clue you in on it. So in the one particular verse that she showed me, it was when Jesus was preparing his disciples for, you know, I'm about to, you know, take off. But, you know, here's what you need to know. Boom, 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 boom. And then he said, but I will ask the Father to send to you a helper. You know, this is what's going to basically take my place when I'm gone, the Spirit of truth. But they just gender swapped it. They swapped it from her to him. Because they stripped everything else about her out when they took out all the Nag Hammadi books. But the world can't see him, doesn't know him, so on and so forth. She is the Spirit of truth. Truth in the 72 names of God, which I mentioned the other day, which is Hakash, has to do with truth and accessing truth. So truth is a big, 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 big thing when it comes to her. If you're operating with her, you have to tell the truth. You know, that's why I talk a lot about my stories and stuff like that, that normally, you know, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't go sharing a lot of this stuff with people on the internet because people think you're nuts, but she wants the truth told. Got to tell the truth. During my early time and getting to know her, there was not a whole bunch. I pretty much do tell the truth, but there was a couple things in my hero's journey that I ended up having to fess up to different people, and then that's kind of like what confession is like just telling the truth about what happened and admitting the truth about what happened and understanding the truth about what happened, which is usually something that you did. So when you're operating, ego mind is literally the realm of lies. Lies, distortions, illusions, untruths. You lie to yourself, you lie to other people. That is ego mind. Operating in soul mind, under her, you got to tell the truth. You live the truth. You, like, even if people aren't ready to hear it, like, you don't shove it down their face, but you're not going to lie for their comfort. Like, this is what it is. If you're not ready to hear it yet, you're not ready to hear it yet. That's fine. Everybody goes at their own pace. But that's why the thing in Pinocchio about his nose getting longer and stuff like that, being told a lie, like, that was such a big deal. Like, she made that happen, so, like, it was obvious to him. Like, it's like throwing it back in your face, literally, that you're not living in truth, you're not telling the truth. So when I go back in memory to the point that set it all off, like, she was already, moving things around for years before, but there was enough, I was becoming awake enough that I'm just like, none of this makes sense. None of the story that they fed me so far makes sense. And I've told that story before of, like, one day I just kind of created my own prayer. And I'm like, I don't know that I'm buying into the way you're portraying God either. So I just intuitively connected to the highest point of consciousness, whatever the real thing is. And that's what I prayed to. I'm like, look, I don't know what's going on down here. Nothing makes sense. Like, I can tell that you're up there, but the versions of the stories that I'm being fed don't feel right. And I don't think you would be mad about that because of the restrictions and things that are on me. Because the only other option in the world is simply fall under authority. Just do what authority tells you, believe what authority tells you. But we've pretty much established that they can't be trusted. And we'll listen to the people that actually killed Jesus. So I said, what I want is to know truth. I want to know how things truly work. I want to know what's real. And I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to get it. That's the agreement. That's what sparked things in motion, and not much long after that, the hero's journey started. Because she is the spirit of truth. That's mainly the epinoia side, where lumen's more love, epinoia is more truth, wisdom, guidance. She's the teacher. So she's going to do what the blue fairy's going to do. She's going to, like, wake you up, tell you where to go, set you on a path, and then if you complete the path, then she's going to be, boom, you're now a real boy. Because you're operating in soul mind and not ego mind, which controls. The ego mind is the thing that lies to you in your own head. Don't listen to that. Don't believe that. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody hears it. She's the spirit of truth. And that's just important that she wanted me to point that out so you understand, like, one other big major aspect of her when it comes to connecting to her is she's all about truth. The truth, and what do they say about the truth? The truth shall set you free. Where did that saying come from? Well, it makes sense when you're looking at it in this context. So that's just something to think about. The other thing, like I said, this is going to be a short video. The other thing was I'm noticing / feeling / sensing / hearing from her that there's something going on that we're not going to hear about, because it's the sort of thing that, like, people don't all just come together in one room and be like, hey, this is happening to me. And this is like also like part of like after the eclipse, whatever that did. But there's a big ego squeeze happening. And I believe that people are all experiencing this in different ways. And what that basically means is whatever parts that you're still stuck on, she's squeezing them. It's like squeezing a tube of toothpaste with the cap still on. She's got like that kung fu grip. So whatever it is, the thing is that you still got to deal with, you still have to see, you still have to understand, you still have to fess up to, that you're just avoiding. Like, that's what everybody's getting squeezed on right now. For me, I've been at this for a while, so it hasn't been as bad. It's mainly been about understanding things in regards to conflict. It's all been conflict based. It started off with just like letting go of like always being in a mode of conflict against the things, because when the more you're in truth and the more she pulls up back your veils, the more you see. But being in conflict, dealing with conflict, understanding conflict, like that's been my lesson, and it's been pretty gentle for the most part. My biggest thing is just like I still have to interact with this world for as long as this game goes on. But I can see where other people, like I've been saying for months and months and months, like we're coming to a quickening where the game is coming to a culmination. And I'm seeing things like videos of other YouTubers that I know and stuff like that. Like everybody's going through something that's squeezing them, making them face their fears, making them feel like, oh, it's just getting worse. I don't know how I'm going to get by. Like this is what it is. Like I think, I'm not saying this, I'm saying a lot of people, when they start off, like they just like, if I just tap into this thing that we're looking for, like I'm just going to be in love and joy and it's going to be awesome. Well, that's after all the hard work's done. I mean, nothing about that is easy. Getting free of the ego mind, facing your own shit, dealing with your ego, dealing with your shadow, just understanding things. It's hard, and I kind of feel for people that have to do this in the accelerated time frame that we're in right now, and not overtime like I did. But hey, maybe it would be better to do it faster all at once. But it's bringing, and that you're in it if you're dealing with a lot of fears. You're bouncing back and forth between traumas of the past and fears of the future. Traumas of the past, fears of the future, and she's squeezing it, and she's squeezing it. And the way she works with me is that whatever the solutions are, she probably put it through my mouth within the last few videos. So I think it might have been in the last video, the long one that was really good, where it's just like, you just gotta let go of it. It's about buoyancy. It's like you're underwater. It's like, I'm about out of breath. I can't take it anymore. It's like you're holding on to all these weights. Drop the weight and you will float to the surface. That's the only way, is letting go of it. Letting go of your attachment, letting go of your connection, letting go to your identity, letting go to the identity of being a victim from everything that's happened in the past, letting go of being in fear of the future and how you're going to get by. Like that's all ego mind stuff. So when you're talking to her, like what you should be seeking first and foremost, above all, is truth. Truth, truth, truth. She lives in truth. She is truth. Everything I tell you on this channel is true. If I said it happened, it actually happened. Half the time I don't know who's talking. That's how crazy it eventually gets. But either which way, understand that we understand that you're going through stuff. And you can do it. You can absolutely do it. You can beat this game. You can beat this puzzle. You can break free. She's giving you the clues. She's giving you the clues. She'll pop something in my head and she'll be like, do this, do this, do this. Because there's so many clues. There's so many things, and we just have to keep throwing them out there. because everybody's at a different point. And, you know, pretty much everybody probably needs a different piece of the puzzle at a different time to help start clicking things together. So we just got to keep going. But she is truth. And you ask for truth, live in truth. Like, ask yourself, like, you know, are you lying to people about things? Are you lying to yourself? Lies are the ego mind. She is truth. So hopefully that helps you out. Okay, I said it was going to be a quick one today because it's Wednesday, so it's going to be a quick one. If you want to check out, if you want to get a hold of us, you can message us through the Etsy store. If you got anything specific you want made, but you don't see any of them that actually pulls to you on the store, send us a message. And other than that, we will be back with another videos here soon. Chris and Lumen. See you next time.